This video is a demonstration of exercises for the wrist, forearm and for elbow injuries. As you see in the video, place the forearm in a 90-degree position to the arm, with the hand now in a pronation position or with the palm facing downwards. Hold a 1 kg dumbbell or a water bottle in your hand. Keep the wrist in a neutral position. Move your wrist all the way up into an extension position and slowly down into a flexion position. Go up into extension, drop down into flexion. Repeat the same 10 times. Next, change your arm into a supination position or with the palm facing upwards. Continue holding the dumbbell or the water bottle in your hand. Slowly drop the wrist into an extension position, up into neutral and into flexion. Again, drop down to neutral and on to extension, in back to neutral and up to flexion. Repeat the exercise 10 times in this position. On the next, third variation of the exercise, leave your hand in the mid-prone position or with your thumb pointing upwards. In the neutral position, slowly move your wrist front and back into flexion and back into extension. Again to neutral and into flexion. Again into neutral and into extension. Repeat the exercise 10 times in this position. To achieve range of motion into ulnar deviation and radial deviation, place the palm into another pronation position again with the elbow bent, either with or without support on the forearm. You can now move the dumbbell towards the thumb and towards the little finger. Repeat 10 repetitions of these. Change next into the supination pronation and repeat the same. Move the wrist towards the little finger and then towards the thumb. These movements aid in complete range of motion with primary lily load. Now come back into the neutral position. Repeat the same by going upwards towards you and moving it away from you. Once you finish with fixed load of the dumbbell, you now move to variable load using a loop band or a resistance band. Place the palm in the position shown with the elbow flexed on the affected hand. Here, the affected hand becomes your right hand and the video demonstration proceeds that way. Start moving the wrist in resisted flexion towards you and repeat the exercise 10 times. Change positions in towards flexion with your palm facing downwards. Repeat the exercise 10 times. Keep the wrist in the shown position and go into ulnar deviation with the wrist in pronation. Similarly, into radial deviation 10 times. Radial deviation in the mid-prone position. Repeat the exercise 10 times and go into ulnar deviation. Repeat the exercise 10 times. Keep both your hands in the 90-degree position. Now slowly move your wrist away from each other, thereby doing wrist extension 10 times. Change angles, bend the elbow more towards flexion. Now go into the pull. Repeat the exercise 10 times. Go into slight almost terminal extension on the elbow and repeat the exercise 10 times. Next, loop the band in a figure of 8 position as shown. Slowly pull the right elbow away from each other and then go into resisted supination and back to neutral, and then to pronation and back to neutral. Repeat the exercise 10 times. Tie the resistance band onto a hook or onto a rod. Place it in front of you. Have enough amount of tension on the band and slowly move the hand into pronation, back to neutral, and then to supination. Ensure that there is enough amount of resistance on the band and do not keep the band slack. You can do so by pulling the elbow slightly backwards behind. Have enough amount of desired tension and then go into supination, or place your palm facing upwards, come back to neutral, and then drop your palm facing downwards, come back to neutral. Same thing, repeat with your elbow slightly more flexed. Go into pronation, back to neutral, and then into supination, back to neutral. Graded resistance at different angles of flexion and different angles of extension will set the tone on the muscle, thereby loading it to optimum capacity of what you receive. Thank you.